Welcome to Warriors Talk, where we move away from awareness towards action. I am your host, Lady ReShell, and tonight we're diving into a conversation that is both personal and powerful: the high cost of delaying healing in men. Far too often, men wait until a breaking point, a divorce, a scare, a health scare that is, and a major loss before addressing the wounds that have been shaping their lives. But what if they didn't have to wait? What if healing could start now? So we're going to explore why men delay healing and what it costs them and the loss of respect. So grab your tea, your water, and your favorite snacks and lean into the conversation because the healing starts now. We are live on Intellectual Radio. We just heard from the Drive at 5 with Roman. Keep it locked right here on Intellectual Radio and allow us to feed your brain. On the last episode of Warriors Talk, I spoke with Nicole Dotson and Robbie Jones, and we talked about behind the bedside for an unfiltered conversation with frontline caregivers. You can head over to YouTube and type in Intellectual Radio and stay connected for any episodes you may have missed. The quote of the day is, "If you don't heal what you hurt, you bleed on those you didn't cut." We are excited about our 9th annual Survivor Celebration and Reflection Gala that will be taking place on October the 18th at the Crystal Sky Banquet Hall at 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. in McCook, Illinois. This is for all cancer survivors and those who are in battle. And our theme for that day is United by Courage and Anchored by Faith. So join us for an afternoon of inspiration, reflection, and celebration. We will also be launching our new book anthology titled When Warriors Talk, Faith Emerges, and we're going to celebrate those new authors as well as special honorees. You can go to warriorstalk.org for more information and to get your tickets. If you are tuned in on any form of social media, please like the show, share the show, and invite someone else in on the show that you feel may benefit from this valuable information. I'm so grateful for my sponsor on today. We have Pastor Michael Richardson with the Emmanuel Church of God in Christ, who has a special message for us.
Greetings, I am Pastor Michael Richardson.
And I am First Lady Anastasia Richardson from the Emmanuel Church of God in Christ. We're located at 3058 West Van Buren in Chicago, Illinois. We are building upon a solid foundation.
And we're inviting you to join us every Sunday morning on Facebook Live at Emmanuel Kojic at 10:15 Central Standard Time. And you can also view our videos on our YouTube channel at Emmanuel Kojic-MR. Once again, this is Pastor Michael Richardson
and First Lady Anastasia Richardson, and we're from the Emmanuel Church of God in Christ. We are building upon a solid foundation.
Co-hosting with me today is none other than the cancer activist, motivational speaker, and the founder of the Gown Foundation, Rizal Gilmore, aka The Biz. Hey, Rizal.
Hey, Lady Rochelle. I love your introduction to me.
I'm excited. I should add relationship expert onto there too, because we've been doing these shows for I don't know how long. So I'm probably add that to the title. But I'm excited about the show. On today, we have a topic for our men. We don't want to just talk about women issues all the time, but we do care about our men and what they go through as well. And again, our topic is the high cost of delaying healing in men. And I think Rizal is frozen at the moment, so until he comes back, make sure you tag a man in your life that you love, that you want to see around for a long time, and let them know that we're talking about how to heal men, and they don't have to suffer in silence by themselves. So I'm gonna jump right into the conversation. Rizal is going to rejoin me when he's not frozen. And we're going to talk about how to break the cycle as it relates to men and delaying their healing. So the first one is talking about the cost of delaying healing. What does it cost a man in their life when they delay their healing? Okay, hold on. Let me grab Rizal, you guys. Add him back to the stage. So can you hear me, Rizal?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you
All
were
right.
frozen for a second.
Yeah, we got a storm going through and it's thundering and raining and stuff. So it messes with the internet. So Wi-Fi may go in and out.
Okay, that's okay. So we're going to start off with the consequences of men delaying healing when it comes to, we're going to start off with relationships first. And the first thing that's on my list is the repeated patterns in relationships. So instead of taking a step back to see what happened in relationships, you just start continuing the cycle over and over again, not really healing what's wrong.
Right. I totally agree with that. And I have to say I can say I'm a victim because I was expecting what I wanted out of different people. And I kept doing the same thing, thinking that, okay, maybe I'll get lucky with one of them and they'll perform the way that I want them to act and perform. And no, I learned the hard way. I probably lost some good ones with that repeated relationship pattern right there.
A lot of times we choose the same type of partner and we recreate those toxic dynamics over and over again and again instead of taking back to see what went wrong in the last relationship so that we don't repeat those same patterns.
I'm telling you, always. That's why I changed my mindset going. I said, you know what? I know what I want, but let me think about what I don't want. And I think that's what kind of changed a lot of things. And I stood firm on that.
Yes. Number two is emotional unavailability. So sometimes you struggle to connect on a deeper emotion with people, and it leaves your partner feeling like they're alone in the relationship.
Let me think about this for a second because I think this be bogus. To me, that feel like they be guilt tripping me with, I'm just telling you my feelings and like, come on, nah. Let me think about for this a second. I really feel like that is a guilt trip thing because of how they feel, and I'm not, because I'm a very nonchalant guy, and I tell every female in the very beginning that I don't wear my heart on my sleeve. You're not going to get, what you think that's out of me. But trust me, I'm there. And because you open up so much and you're vulnerable and this and that, and I'm not. So now you think that I'm emotionally unavailable to you because I'm not giving you what you want. And I told that's not how it's gonna work. So you keep throwing that into my face throughout whatever argument. Oh, I opened up to you. I told you this. I told you that. You didn't have to do any of those things. I told you I'm a very nonchalant guy. What we need to do is focus on what is narrowing down the toxicity, if there is some, and just moving forward. All we want is peace. Just peace. I don't need no investigating. I don't need no interrogation. I don't need none of those things going on. I just want peace. And maybe I might open up a little bit more to you. But until then,
Yeah, I feel like it has to be a safe environment for someone to just open up. And then that could work for both male and female. Nobody is just going to open up in a toxic environment feeling that maybe this could be used against me or maybe this person is not even hearing me. So, yeah, I think that takes time to build up. But I'm with you on the piece, though. I'm with you on that one. I am with you on that. Number 3 is trust issues. And I think we all can identify with the trust issues. Difficulty trusting people because we have maybe abandonment issues or wounds that haven't healed, or we maybe in the past have been betrayed. And so, we get a new person in our lives and automatically the guards are up and we like, every little move they make, we like, yeah, they did that too. So maybe, it's coming. And we kind of set them up for failure.
Yep. Your issues is not my issues. All I can do is help you to try to get through them the best way that I can. But your issues is your issues. Sorry that happened to you beforehand. Sorry Abraham did whatever he did and Kenny did what he did or whatever, but I'm not them. You ain't going to take it out on me. You ain't going to put me in the same category with them as I am. No, you're not going to do that. That right there, we're not. Nope. Those are your issues. You either going to love me or leave me alone.
Number 4, poor communication. Sometimes we shut down because we don't like conflict, so we try to avoid conflict. Even like with our emotions, like earlier when you was talking, like not expressing the emotions, but sometimes it may not be time to do that. Sometimes we lead with anger instead of being nice and sweet to our other person. So that could cause a communication breakdown too, because you don't know how the other person is going to respond. So 9 times out of 10, you don't want to say the wrong thing. You walking on eggshells with this person. So you kind of watch what you say when it comes to communicating.
Absolutely. And as a team that we should be, I should be able to come to you with any and everything and tell you how I feel and what's going on with me or so forth, and not feel like, you know what, I can't say this because that person's going to think that. And now I got to keep it bottled up. So the poor communication is going to come. And then when things start to fall apart, well, why didn't you tell me? Well, how could I tell you? Why would I tell you? Because of how you act towards, different scenario, different things. Like, I cannot open up to you. So yes, there will be a breakdown in communication because now I'm not telling you everything. I'm going to handle it myself. And more than likely, I'll probably be telling my boys or my girls or whoever in my corner, or maybe that next one that's in line to take your place. Who knows? Because that's always the question. You told her those things about me? Mm-hmm. Yep.
No, you didn't say the next person in line.
Yep. There's always a lineup.
Number 5, sabotaging love. So you're ending relationships prematurely because out of fear of rejection or just being vulnerable with that person. You don't want to be vulnerable with that person because of what happened in the last relationship. So when you kind of see those behaviors creeping up, you cut it off, you cut it short, you end the relationship, you get distant, you go ghost.
This is where I want everybody to listen. What Lady Rochelle just said is going to be one of the hardest tests ever to a man or a woman, because that is bringing out, that is going to be the tell of the tape, as they say in boxing. That is going to be the tell if your fear is stronger or if your faith is stronger. Because either you're going to have the faith to trust or you're going to have the fear.
I cannot even hear what you're saying. I see your mouth moving, Rizal, but I can't hear you.
Oh, no, don't say that. Can you hear me now?
Not sure what happened.
I don't know. Yeah. Wi-Fi is in and out.
I can see your mouth moving, but I can't see exactly what you're saying.
It's the Wi.
If you could step out and step, he's doing sign language. Really, Rizal. If you could step off stage and come back and see if that'll work. If you guys are just tuning in, we're live on Intellectual Radio, and I have Rizal co-hosting, and we're talking about the high cost of delayed healing in men. Let me see if he's back. And we just got done talking about, well, he was in the middle of talking about sabotaging love. And I think we all may have been in a relationship or the start of a relationship with someone that we saw behaviors that an individual that we may have broke up with, or they broke up with us, and we see these behaviors creeping up, and we said, let me protect myself. And so you do things to sabotage that relationship, whether it be, ghosting them, or you just not returning their phone calls, or you starting arguments, anything that will get that person to maybe walk away from you and leave you alone so you won't have to take the blame for it. So sometimes we do sabotage relationships. And while Rizal is trying to creep back in here, we're going to go to number 6, which is carrying baggage forward. You bring past hurt into your new relationships, which is unfair to the person that you're with, because you're doing comparison to that person and with the old person. And then there's a lot of resentment that comes from past hurt too. So sometimes you may be in a new relationship and you're not healed. And so you come with this bitterness in the relationship, and then the other person gets to carry that weight of that baggage that you're bringing in. I think he's still trying to get here.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Rizal?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? What you mean, no? You can't hear me?
I can't hear you. But if you want to call in, you can. But I can't hear you right now. I'm not sure what happened. You can call in if you want to. The number is 708. Okay. He's writing it down. You ready? It's 708-223-8953. 708-223-8953. All right, you could call in so we can continue this conversation, you guys. The high cost of delayed healing in men. And Rizal, we're on carrying baggage forward in a relationship.
You sure you can't hear me? Am I
Are
muted?
you dialing the number? Because I can still see you. Technology. While we're waiting on Rizal to come in, you guys, I want to make sure I highlight my sponsor, Gloria Dotson with Mary Kay. She's catering to all of your beauty needs from head to toe. You can go to her website at marykay.com/GDOTSON. Make sure you tell her that Warriors Talk sent you. Intellectual Radio, this is Warriors Talk.
Hey, it's Rizal.
Hey, Rizal.
I think, can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly.
Okay, I think I'm back now.
Awesome. I don't know if you lost your thought talking about sabotaging love. If not, we could skip over to number 6, which is
What's number 6?
carrying baggage forward into a new
First, is
relationship.
there an echo?
It is, but let me mute your mic. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, is there an echo now?
It shouldn't be. No. Do you hear an echo?
Yes.
Okay, I don't.
Okay. Number 6.
Do you still have the app up? Maybe that's why you hear the echo. Is the app still up?
The app is still up.
That might be why.
But I'm not seeing the face.
Is the sound working on the app? No, I can hear him on the phone. I can see you. So that's how I know the app is still up.
Okay. So mute me.
Okay.
Okay. So now put up number 6.
Number 6 is carrying baggage forward.
Okay.
So you're bringing over past hurt into the new relationship, causing unfair comparison and resentment.
That kind of goes back to number 5 with what I was saying. You're making me pay for something I didn't do. The trust issues. It's best when entering a new relationship is to have a new mindset. You can't you can't be in the past and want a future at the same time. You're gonna have to pick which way. Either you're gonna step forward or you're gonna step back. One of the two. And that's where a lot of people get confused because they think they can bring a lot of what they did with them in the past to the future. And then it doesn't work out. And it's like, well, why is it not working? And that's why me and Lady Rochelle is here to try to school you guys on what's what, because we have been through it quite a few times, I'm sure.
A few times.
She like, don't speak for me.
No, I was like a few times. No, I agree. I totally agree with you. Number 7 is intimacy struggles. I would say for this one, it would be something like emotional disconnection with the person. It can affect your closeness with that person. It could also affect your sexual intimacy, is the word I was trying to say.
I don't know about you. The only time that affects me is if I'm just not into the person.
I think it works different for women because our emotions are tied to, I guess it's tied to that. Like, because for men, you guys can have sex and there could be no emotional connection. But for women, we have to have most women, we have to have the emotional connection first before we be sexual or be intimate with that person. So if I'm not feeling you emotionally, it's like, no, I don't want you touching me. I don't want no parts of no sexual intimacy at all. And so there's a disconnect that comes with that.
Oh shoot, y'all do that throughout the relationship too. So what's the excuse then?
Hey Lisa. We're talking about men tonight, Rizal, not women.
No. But you know, I've told you, I think I told the story before that I didn't know that what that meant until later in my years about the emotional and the intimacy, because it does happen. It does that. Like I really need to be into that person for things to happen. Not just, oh, she's pretty and you know, let's go to bed. Like, no, I need more substance now with behind the woman. I need to know that things with us, if there's an argument, that we're going to be okay, that you're still going to have my back, that you're still going to love me even after we argue. These different things, and you don't get that, you know, when we're younger. It's just young, dumb, and full of, you know. So, but as I got older and wiser, I understand the emotional thing. That's why you just got to get you one, connect with her, and that's it. You're done.
I totally agree with that. Number 8, talking about the high costs of delayed healing in men. And number 8 is attracting unhealthy partners. So you're attracting people according to where you are in your healing process. If you have unhealed wounds, you have some type of toxicity that's still lingering, you attract those type of partners.
I'm about to say no. It just wasn't wounds. They've been attracting unhealthy partners way before things started to go left with whatever partner that there was. We don't know. I mean, there's quite a few things that could be the issue, but of course, they're never going to point the finger at themselves. It's always the other person. Either they're just too controlling and don't realize it. Maybe their mouth is just too much. They don't know how to just be quiet and be easy throughout the relationship. Peace, peace, the peace sign, peace. Or whatever the case. But they're never going to blame themselves, and they've been on the. You attract what you are. That's laws of attraction. So if you attracting toxic people, you need to look at yourself in the mirror because you yourself may be toxic and not admitting to it. And you're going to keep going through the same thing, through the same cycle, through the same sequence, everything over and over again until you change some things about you.
I was listening to, that's true. I was listening to Eve, the rapper, and she said before she met her husband, she was dating all these different people, and everybody she would think she was getting into a relationship with, they would tell her, oh, let's just see where this goes. Let's not put a label on it. Like, let's just go with the flow, and she would always be in these situationships. And she said one day she just got tired of doing that. So she said, I'm not going to date anymore. I'm tired of dating. So I'm just going to stop dating. And so she stopped dating for a while. And then when she met her husband, she said when she met him, she was trying to bring like that toxicity over there. And she was telling him, oh, well, he was like, are you free? She was like, well, I'm dating other people. And then he was like, okay, call me when you're done with that. And she was like, what? And so when he hung up, she was like, okay, she had to sit and think in that. Although she hadn't been dating people for a while, she thought about it. And then when she hooked up with him, she had to leave that toxic behavior behind because now here's a partner that's demanding more of her. And he's not about to allow you to bring these other people who are toxic for you and not trying to give you a commitment. And here's a person that's saying, okay, I'm ready when you are, but you're not about to bring this into this new relationship. So she had to check herself.
Right. Because her husband is way bigger than her. And I think she realized that, like, this guy's way bigger than me. Like, if I want him, yeah, I need to humble myself.
That's
and
what she
settle
said.
down and get rid of what's blocking me from getting to where I need to be.
And that's the word she mentioned. She had to humble herself. She said, like most of the people she dated, they were like flashy. Everything is here on the outside. And she met him. He had this calm confidence about himself that made her more intrigued about him. So, yeah, I thought that was, sometimes we don't think about the relationships that she kept going down that same pattern. And it wasn't until she got tired of not getting what it was that she wanted that she took a step back. And then when she took a step back, he was able to see her.
See, she was messing with them Negroes. Now look at her.
Yeah, she seems very peaceful, very happy. So I'm happy for her.
So I don't know why we think that if you're doing well, you got to be flashy about it.
The wrong perception we have, especially in the hood.
I talked to a millionaire before. He said he'd rather be rich and unknown than be famous and rich because it comes with a headache.
It does.
Family relationships.
So we're going to get into family relationships as it relates to delaying healing in men. And we are on number 9. And this is a strained parent and child bond. When it comes to a man not being healed, it creates emotional distance and it makes it harder to connect with the child. And I want to say, go ahead.
No, I was going to say it depends on the relationship because with the mom, because we know that sometimes these baby mamas out here will make a man look bad and will beat him down in front of their children and say all kind of things and do all kind of stuff. And the man is never given a chance. And now the child has this resentment up against him and don't even really know why. So, yeah, it becomes a battle. It all depends on the relationship with the baby mama.
So you feel it starts there?
Yeah.
So the man can't create his own relationship or his own bond and his own, the child can't see him for who he is when he spends time with his father, regardless of what the
Not,
mother is saying.
not when he's already been plugged in his ear about his father, about all the negative things about him. Because no matter what good that I do with my child, there's always going to be a negative stigma that's planted with them, and they're going to look at you funny, like, "Yeah, mom warned me about you. She told me what she was going to do, and this and that." And you can have the best or the greatest intentions in the world.
I would say for me, with my dad, it was strictly one of those relationships of I'm the provider, I'm the head of this household, and that's what he did. Like, I guess that was his way of showing love, is making sure that we were provided for. We always had a roof over our head, always had something to eat. There was like no connection as far as I would have liked for it to be, like a close father and daughter relationship. And it wasn't until maybe 3 or 4 years before he passed that I started saying I love you, and then he started repeating it back. Like, I don't know. I don't know if that was just a thing with males in that generation and how they responded, but I would have liked for it to have been a closer relationship, and especially considering I'm the baby girl.
Do you think if that would have started earlier in your childhood with dad, like, why weren't you close in the first place? Because he just wasn't there.
He was always there. He was always there, but it wasn't. I want to say it wasn't quality time being spent. Like I said, it was always providing, but it wasn't like quality time being spent. Like, oh, okay, I'm gonna take the kids, and although he would take us like places sometimes, but it wasn't quality time like I would have liked it, I guess. And I feel like that's probably why quality time is my love language. It's like number one on my list, because I felt like I did not get that from my dad, if that makes sense.
Understandable.
So
But
go ahead.
no.
Okay, so
Think about that.
passing down trauma, which could be unresolved pain. Different parents have different styles of parenting, and I know we all have generational, I don't want to say curses, but generational cycles that are in our family that may get passed down, that has trauma attached to it, that we didn't know where it came from probably until we got a little older, and then we start seeing how our parents function, and we're like, oh, that's where that came from. That's why I act this way.
I definitely can relate. I think one of the biggest ones out there is discipline. And you coming from a big family, because you have a lot of brothers and sisters, so you probably watch your older siblings get whoopings from mom and dad. So now you may not want to discipline your children like that because of the trauma that you saw growing up in your household, and you don't want to pass that down. But I'm gonna tell you, some of these knuckleheads need their butt whooped.
Now they trying to call DCFS on you they're threatening you if you try to whip them or put your hands on them. They like, oh, go ahead and I'll call DCFS. I'm like, go ahead and call them. I'm gonna help you call them, because you don't want to be in that DCFS system to where they pushing you around from home to home. You getting sexually assaulted, abused. So go ahead and call that number.
Mm-hmm. They think they got it all together.
So
if you think that much that you got it all together, then you go out there and get your own. That's what I'm telling. And it's like it's getting younger and younger.
oh, definitely.
Like, I don't know why they think they know everything. They don't want to listen to us.
It's this entitlement spirit that they have too. Like, they're entitled. I'm entitled to Yeah, you're entitled to express your opinion, but express it in a way that's not defensive. Sometimes they don't care what words they're using. They just feel like they have to express themselves, or they feel entitled to things that they're supposed to have. No, it says food, clothes, and shelter. It didn't say anything extra out of the ordinary that you have to have unless I want to give it to you. And that's it, and that's all. But what about number 11, conflict with siblings or their parents? So sometimes your relationship, maybe the father treated one sibling better than the other one. So now it's causing conflict within the home. Maybe if you have, sometimes we have these blended families to where it may not even be his child. And so he's treating his child better than the other child in the home. So now the siblings are going at it and holding grudges against each other because of that.
Nope. Because if you decided to be the man of that household, you got to treat both of them kids the same and treat them equally. You can't treat just because this one belongs to you biologically and not treat the other one the same way. It's definitely going to cause some problems in that house. If you're not ready for that, then you need to step away.
I don't know, some men may fight you on that, Rizal. It reminds me of the TikTok where the father brings over the meal for the child and there's other kids in the house, so he just bring the one meal
McDonald's.
for his child, and the other kids looking like, we hungry too. And when the mom gets the food in the house, guess what the mom is going to do with the food?
What?
She's going to split it up between all the kids.
Yep.
So, and you better let him eat in your car before he comes in the house, because if the food hits the door, I'm going to split it up between all the kids to eat.
Well, he better get a 20-piece nugget. They all get 4 apiece, a large fry, and drink water.
Hilarious. So becoming the emotionally absent family member or parent. So this is probably what I meant by my dad is I feel like he was emotionally absent, right? He was present physically for sure because, you know, we were in the house. We didn't have to worry about anything. The bills were paid. We had food, transportation. But I feel like emotionally he was absent.
I think that's what happens to providers. Because it becomes a one-sided thing because they're doing so much over here, and now you still want more of me. I'm providing, I'm putting food on the table, roof over the head, buying all these different things. And now you want time too? Like, how much do you want from me? It's too much. You're taking a lot out of me. Versus if he was now giving you quality time and you didn't have those things, would you still look at him as the same way as a wonderful dad, as a provider?
I think I would rather have the quality time because it's not a lot of time. I'm saying quality, so I'm not saying I want like this big quantitative time. I want quality time. So that quality time could be 10, 15 minutes, you know, of him it don't have to be really going any place or spending any money. It could be him sitting down to have a conversation or sitting down watching a show. Like just something to where you can bond with that person.
But you keep forgetting he's tired. Sitting down, he's going to fall and go to sleep.
Sure.
And then you're going to be mad because he went to sleep because he's tired from providing.
That's true. I think as I got older, like one of the ways that we would connect he would have me to dye his gray in his hair and in his beard, and then he would have me to cut it. And one day I disconnected his sideburns by mistake. He was like, what? I know it was the first time that I did it, and I was just like, "Oh," he was like, "No, that's not what you're supposed to do." I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and so it was funny. We laughed about it, but that was one
And
of
you
the.
was fired that day.
No, he still let me do it. He just was like, "Okay, now when you do it, just don't disconnect them. Let them." I was like, "Okay," so it was really funny. So that was one of the ways that we kind of connected. But that was as I got older. But growing up, when I was younger, no, it was more like when my brothers played sports, my dad went to their games, right? My brothers did football, they did
Mhm.
track, they did basketball, and my dad was there cheering. He was there taking the different players home and everything. But like for the girls in the family, he was like, no, I guess maybe he might have felt that may have been my mom's job to do that, but he supported, the boys.
Well, Lady Rochelle all you had to do was play sports.
I was cheerleading, I was track, that was sports.
Did you ask them to come to the games?
I never did. I never. I
No.
don't even know if my brothers asked or he just showed up. I don't know. No,
What you say? Closed mouths don't get fed.
that's true. That's true. I'm gonna skip around because I want to go to number 19, which talks about poor leadership skills. You're leading from sometimes when a man is not healed, they lead from a place of insecurity or maybe ego versus empathy. And it's like, how can you follow this leader when you feel like you don't trust this person? You know, you don't feel like you connect with this person, but I'm supposed to follow this person.
Absolutely. Um, this is where you need to know who you're dealing with, because if he's going to be a leader and he doesn't go to God first to find out where he needs to go, what he needs to do, you're going to be in trouble from the get go. So you definitely need to find out, about this person who you're dealing with, and which direction that he's, in order to be a leader, you got to be a follower. So is he following God, or is he just following his ego, following his greed, following money, those different things? Nothing good is going to come out of that relationship.
I agree with that. Number 20, we skipped around, you guys. Number 20 is the loss of respect is one of the high costs in delaying healing in men. Oh, and I totally agree with this one. Like it's kind of hard when you're dealing with wounds that are unhealed. It could cause this pattern of behavior to happen to where maybe you're not treating your family right or the person that you're with. You may have anger issues because there may be so many things going on with you. And it may not even have anything to do with the household. It could be your job that's causing you the stress. It could be maybe you feel like, oh, I'm not making enough money. And like you come home and you take those things out on on the persons or the people that are in the household because you have these wounds that are not healed.
Yeah, because you're angry, and you're angry at everything and everybody that didn't go your way or that didn't work out for you, and you want to take it out on everybody. You didn't get that job. It's not your fault. Maybe you weren't qualified. Shoot, I've got turned down for being overqualified.
So how can we start or how can men start the healing process to move forward?
Well, one of the things, you put it up, acknowledge there's a problem. And I do have to say that men are very indecisive about a lot of things. We don't know if we want to be with her. We don't know if we want to let her go. So we just try to play it smooth and let it play out to see how, if she's going to, come to me and kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? be that support that I need, or is she just going to just leave me out there on my own and then boom, I'm on to the next. So as a man, we got to start making better, faster, smarter decisions.
I like that. There is a statistic out there that talks about women are more likely to initiate divorce proceedings than men. About 70% of women will initiate divorce.
That's a lot. That's more than half.
And I don't think it's because the man doesn't want the divorce. I think some men may just be like, they may not want to go through that process, or maybe they don't want to feel like if they filed, then it feels like they were the failure versus the woman filed and be like, well, she filed. She the one left the relationship. It wasn't me.
Because it's all about how you look at the end. Either way, y'all are split. Whether you filed, I filed, you still want to look good, even going through the divorce. That nope, it wasn't me. It was her. You know.
Identify the source of the wound. Before you can heal, you need to find out where the wound is, where it came from, get to the root of it, stop putting a Band-Aid on it, and so that it can heal.
That ain't gonna happen. Because we men, we always think ain't nothing wrong, ain't nothing happening, so it ain't gonna go down. That ain't gonna happen. We ain't gonna see. We don't like to admit when we're wrong or something is wrong. No, we don't even like going to the doctor. You okay? Yeah, I'm fine. No, good and well. You up there hurting. So no, that ain't gonna happen.
So they're not going to seek professional help about it either.
That ain't gonna happen either.
What about what about building a support circle? Like men talk to men.
We'll just go to the barbershop.
There you go. Oh, Lisa said a relationship was dissolved way before the divorce to talk of divorce. And that's true.
Yep, absolutely.
That's absolutely true, Lisa.
I think I mentioned before that a man or woman leaves the relationship way before it's over.
Yep. Mentally first and then physically. Or however you want to do it. Mm-hmm. Totally agree. I'm gonna go through these really fast. I'm learning healthy coping skills, but according to Rizal, they're not trying to learn any skills. What about forgiveness? Forgive others and yourself.
When they get older, they'll think back about these memories and stuff that they have, and by that time, you know, they're at a more humble place when they're older. So then that's when the forgiveness will start to happen.
It's true. You mentioned something about earlier. We was talking about being at peace, and I know for me, younger, every battle would be my battle. Like I could go toe to toe. Like my mouth was just crazy, and now it's like, let me pick my battles, and I could sit there and it could be chaos, and I'll just be like. And my girls be like, Ma, you don't see that happen? They be like, I'm like, why? Why am I gonna stress myself out? Like, no, that's not my battle. I cannot jump into every battle. I'm gonna pick the battles that I know that are passionate to me and that's gonna do me some good and not harm and not stress me out. But I'm not going to stress about every little thing that somebody else is doing because we cannot control somebody else's actions. You can't. All right, Rizal, we are down to the wire. So, and I know you have some words of wisdom for us.
Yep. To the men, the one who wins is the one who thinks he can.
Oh, look at you.
You could do this. Us men can do this. I'm about to start a movement.
What is it called?
I don't know yet.
Well, it's needed. It is definitely needed.
It is.
It is. Well, my words of wisdom is healing is not a sign of weakness, but it's a foundation of strength. You guys, you can join us next Monday right here on Intellectual Radio at 6 p.m. As always, thank you for tuning in to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady Rochelle. Co-hosting with me today is Rizal, aka The Biz. Warriors Talk is changing lives one warrior at a time.
Thank you for listening to this week's edition of Warriors Talk with Lady Rochelle. To find out more about Warriors Talk, follow at Warriors Talk, the number one, on all social media outlets, and Warriors Talk with Lady Rochelle on YouTube. Please join us next week and every Monday evening at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on intellectualradio.com for Warriors Talk with Lady Rochelle, where we encourage, educate,